and I hear the European accent immediately. No idea which country. But it doesn't matter. This lady is not native, and neither am I. That is what I love so much about New York. Everybody's from somewhere else. I know that you're not open, but I was wondering if you were hiring. See, I just live around the corner, and I thought this would be a perfect place to get a job, since, I just live around the corner. Redundant, I know, but she is, after all, foreign.
What experience do you have?
Well, I served people over the counter when I worked at McDonald's when I was in college. I just graduated.
Really? What did you study?
This is so far the longest job interview I've had since arriving in the city. I'm so eager to keep it going, I forget I'm supposed to lie about my acting aspirations. Theater, I'm going to study acting here, hopefully get a job on Broadway. Shh. I think she said shit, but I'm not sure.
You've never waitressed?
No, not per se, but I am familiar with making coffee and stocking cups and napkins and working a cash register. And I learn stuff really fast.
You worked at McDonald's. Why don't you work there?
The interview has taken a sudden turn and not in a good direction. See, I have no planned interview pattern, and I'm not all that quick on my feet yet, so I just tell the truth. They said I'm overqualified.
Overqualified?
I have a college degree, so they said I'm overqualified to work there.
But you think you're qualified to work here?
Okay. The fact of the matter is that I know I'm not qualified to work anywhere, except on the stage. But I haven't met any producers yet. I haven't even been to any auditions yet. I am stymied. And sweat's starting to trickle down the back of my pantyhose, which makes me even more desperate. And since I don't know what to do next, I just fall to one knee in front of her in my new sailor outfit and beg. Look. A month ago, I was in college in Mississippi. Now I am in New York City with a roommate, and the rent is due in a week. I need a job. I know I'm not experienced as a waitress, but I work hard, and I can learn. I just need a job to make my way. I just need a job to pay my own way. See, I can't call home for help. Just one immigrant appealing to another.
Get up off the floor. It's dirty. What's your name?
Patty. Patty Tears.
Okay. All right. Pat. I'm Stacy. Stacy Sathis. I'll give you a shot, but you don't pull your weight. You're out of here. Got it?
Yes, thank you.
7 a.m. Saturday morning, I train you on the floor. Got it? 10 a.m. grand opening. Got it?
I turn to go, wait.
I have something for you.
She goes in the back and returns with an application form.
Here, fill that out and bring it with you on Saturday. Got it? Okay, get out of here. And don't wear your Sunday dress. You'll ruin it. Just wear jeans and a blouse.
Okay. Oh, by the way, what's the name of this place so I can tell my mother?
Twin Donut.
Okay. Well, see you at 7 on Saturday. I soar from the place. Oh, my spirit's high. I have a job. And it's on Broadway, even though it's not the Broadway job I'm aiming for. It's a start. Now, my first day of work just flies by. I'm so busy learning and ordering and serving, I don't have time to worry about getting fired. And whenever I chase people down to give them money, they keep leaving on the counter. They look at me like I'm from outer space. I guess they never heard a Southern accent before. Finally, some guy snaps, "What are you talking about? That's your tip. What are you, nuts?" Oh, thank you. I realized on the way back inside, I probably returned at least $1.50 that was mine to pocket. Stacy yells, "Pat, where did you go?" "Oh, I was giving that man his money back, but he said it's my tip." I never worked for tips before. Oh, the whole place roars with laughter. Huh. I think I got 'em. Now, I like Stacy, but she scares me. Oh, she's not mean, but she is the boss. And I mean that literally. See, that first day, I thought she worked for somebody else. But no, she owns this franchise of the Twin Donut. And she acts like her life depends on this donut shop. Well, because it does. Boy, she is so fast. She swipes and wipes and orders and serves and makes change and talks so fast, it's all I can do to keep up with her. And she keeps making that sound a lot too. But she keeps letting me come back day after day. The other waitress on staff is Molly. Now, she takes the train in from Yonkers and has family in the Carolinas. She's really pretty. Her skin is the color of a Hershey's milk chocolate bar. And she could be anywhere from 25 to 40, I can't tell. But she knows the waitressing game inside and out.
Patty, hold on one second. Now is the time to do this.
Sure.
Right then.
Yeah.
So what I want to do, because I'm not happy with as far away as you are from the camera. So I'm going to bring everything down stage a little bit.
Do you
Because I'm
think
not
that's necessary?
Well, I'm not seeing her enough.
Well, it's not going to be front because in the next 2 seconds I'm going to be sitting on that
It
stool.
doesn't matter. It's still so far upstage.
To 40, I can't tell. But she knows the waitressing game inside and out, and she is teaching me the ropes. Sometimes when she senses that I'm a little homesick, she'll bring me leftovers from her Sunday dinner. Black-eyed peas, greens and ham hock, cornbread. Now, I work the 5:30 to 2 shift because I live so close. We open right at 6 a.m. sharp, so from 6 to 7, I'm on my own with the help of Patty the grill cook and George the donut baker until Molly comes on shift at 7. Now George works the graveyard shift, frying and icing the donuts for the next day. He's from Greece and speaks no English, so we pantomime a lot. Now Patty reminds me of an aging former boxer. He's got a tattoo on one bicep, which makes me think he might have been in the Navy at some point. I could see him swabbing a deck or serving up slop in a mess hall. He's got really fair skin and thinning pale red hair and cornflower blue eyes. Says he gets it from the Polish on his dad's side and the Irish on his mother's. Plus, he's got a lateral lisp. He always talks like he's got his mouth full of ripe peaches. I also think. Anyway, I learned fast and soon developed regulars, which Patty calls my irregular regulars, based on the fact that, well, most of them are mental, either due to senility or insanity. But now you take Johnny, the accordion player that serenades passersby out on Broadway. He's not, mentally deficient by any means, except when he's 3 sheets to the wind and belligerent. Good strong coffee's his hangover cure most days. Oh yeah, but he's got this shiny little red accordion, and he plays the hell out of it. Everything from gospel hymns to the Beatles, and he makes a pretty penny by his own accord. He always takes his coffee at the first stool by the door along the wall. Now one day I noticed him hanging out by the door before that seat opens up. And then when he finally does sit down, I asked him how come he didn't just sit down at the next seat over. He peers at me with bloodshot aquamarine eyes. Oh, he's got a wall at my back. Why? Why not? One day we're talking about working for a living, and Johnny tells me he's retired. From what? I was a hobo for 30 years. A hobo? How can a hobo be retired? I didn't even think hobos worked. Huh, hobos work their butts off. You think it's easy to get a ride on the rails to get from place to place? Huh, hobos work hard. Not many do it, but I did it for over 30 years, and I've seen every inch of this country from coast to coast and border to border. Well, when'd you become a hobo?
had no aspirations as a young man to do anything other than see the country. So, I headed out hitching rides. But people in cars can be dangerous. Besides, it takes too long. I ended up in Chicago one winter and couldn't get a ride out of town for love nor money. I decided I needed a new mode of transportation. I wanted to be somewhere warm and fast. So I headed over to the train yard and I hung out there listening to hobos talking about freight's headed south. I followed the fella catching a rail, and he made it real clear to me that he was not looking for a buddy. And I made it crystal clear to him that neither was I. I was just looking for sunshine and sand.
Did you have your accordion then?
No, she came along later. After some no-good drunk broke my banjo over my head in a fight on a freight outside of Omaha. By the time I got to Kansas City, I was so lonesome for music, I took a job shoveling horse shit in people's gardens just to make me some money. And that's when I bought this pretty girl at a pawn shop there. And she has been my buddy ever since.
Did you name her?
None of your beeswax.
I got too close. But another time I asked him, do you always live on the street?
Of course not. Are you out of your mind? Well, where do you live? In places I pay for.
So you did pretty well.
I got no complaints.
And really, he didn't. Now, I meet Shirley one morning when I overhear her telling Patty all about making shrimp gumbo. Now you get you a mess of fresh shrimp. They don't stink not one bit when they're fresh. They almost sweet smell in that. But if they do stink, oh, you want to get rid of them right away. They will make you sicker than a dog. Maybe even kill you. But for sure and certain make you wish you was dead. Anyways, then you got to chop up your vegetables. Now some people don't like to use okra in their gumbo, but that's how my mama made it. And I like to use it too, on account of the cooler the okra cuts through the heat of the spice just enough, so she should have won another bowl. But getting the root just exactly right is the most important part of the process. You got to get it thick enough and dark enough so that when you add all the other ingredients that are thick enough just right. There's nothing worse than a two-thing gumbo.
I tell Patty I hope he's writing this down. He just looks at me and says, nuts, that's in the belfry.
I look back at the woman. He's right. She's talking to the grill. Sunburn and dirty fingernails and other signs reveal that living on the streets has taken its toll, but the woman herself is magnificent. Her dark auburn hair's cut short, and she's big, 6 feet maybe, and heavy set, 250 pounds or so, and her face possesses the same innocence of a baby doll I once had as a child, except that instead of the blank-eyed stare of my baby doll, her dark blue eyes gleam violet, the mixture of curiosity and madness. She is my kind of gal. That recipe sounds delicious. My mother makes her gumbo that way too. What's your name?
Me? Oh, I'm Shirley. I'm Shirley. This is real good coffee you got here.
Yeah, it is. Would you like a refill?
No, I paid.
I paid. No. I know you did. I'm just wondering if you'd like more. See, we give free refills here.
No, I'm good with what I got right here. Thank you.
I detect a southern accent. See, southerners can always hear each other. Shirley, where are you from?
Well, I was born in Germany, and I lived there most of my life. Become a doctor, real famous life for back then, you know. And well, I knew everybody. I knew Hitler. Except when he come to power, you know, I had to get away from there. Away from him especially, you know. So I got me a ship all the way to Argentina where I got me a whole new face.
and you know, we all heard he died by his hands, you know, but he hadn't. No, not at all. And then he come looking for me. He sure did. And he found me. Only he didn't know it was me on account of my new face. And then one day we was talking in Argentina, you know, and he tells me that he needs a new face like mine. Only he didn't know that, you know. And could I help him find a doctor to do it for? And before I could help myself, I said, well, I could do it for you. And then he looks at me and he says, well, are you a doctor? And then I got afraid, you know, that he was going to recognize me after all. And I said, no. And then I got a bus all the way up here to this place. And now I'm drinking coffee. And this is real good coffee, too. Okay, but she's still Southern, and I'm a little homesick, so I persist in having a normal conversation. But where in the South are you from? Thank you for the coffee. Well, she's had enough of me, obviously. And as she approaches the door, I notice that she's left some bills on the counter, and as is my wont to do, I grab them and run over to her. Shirley, don't forget your money. She glances at the money in my hand and then looks at me like I'm the one that's nuts. No, that's for you. She leaves a $2 tip for a 50-cent cup of coffee. Crazy, maybe. Generous, definitely. Now, see, I got a bunch of other types just like that I wait on during my breakfast rushes. There's this poor, mute, homeless woman that I dubbed Rooster Woman because she wears a yellow rubber glove with the thumb and the fingers protruding out on her head like a rooster's coxcomb. She smells to high heaven, so we can't even allow her inside the place. But once I give her a coffee and a bag of donuts, she's good to go. And then there's little Lady Woodstock. She's this cute little bitty lady, and her hair carolicks on top, which reminds me of that little bird in the Peanuts comic strip. She's still ambulatory and very independent, except for the fact that she's legally blind. I mean, it can be harrowing sometimes at the corner of 71st and Broadway. And then there's this drunken Slavic sailor that comes in once every 2 weeks. Still wearing his militant Marine uniform, little chin strap, pillbox cap and all. Oh, he is so happy. Now, I have known a lot of drunks in my life, but this guy, oh my gosh, he is just happy to be on dry land. And then, of course, there's Sherlock and Watson. Sherlock's somewhere in his 30s, perfectly costumed. The strange deerstalker cap with the flaps pulled up for summer, and the double-breasted overcoat, even in summer, along with an umbrella, which he uses as his cane. And I'm sure that Watson is just as appropriately outfitted, although I can't see him because he is the figment of Sherlock's imagination. The first day they show up, I place a cup of coffee in front of Sherlock, who demands, "Excuse me, aren't you missing one?" I don't get his meaning. "Good God, my associate Watson would like coffee as well." Oh, sorry. So I pour another cup of coffee, and I place it in front of the empty stool and play like I'm talking to Watson. There you go. Enjoy. "Good God, to whom are you speaking?" Watson. "Dr. Watson is not yet seated. He is presently perusing your menu up above. Can you not see? He says he'll have the coffee when it's ready." Wow. Nothing like being put in your place by somebody's imaginary friend. And then Sherlock, orders for both of them. "Eggs over easy, not hard, mind you, with buttered white toast and marmalade." "Hash browns or home fries?" "Whoever would eat hash browns?" He's rude, but I let it go because, well, he's mental. And then Patty and I just stand by and watch as Sherlock he first eats his breakfast, and then he seamlessly switches plates so he can devour Watson's, the entire time indulging in a one-sided conversation that only makes sense to them. Him. And and at the end of their meal, he proclaimed chef par excellence, and with the swoosh of his overcoat, which reeks of body odor, stale urine, and Old Spice, he and Watson dismiss us to go on about their day in pursuit of some villain or other. He always leaves $20 for the food and the tip. Now, there's always one guy that's sent by the fates every day just to show me how far from perfect I am. He shows up as the wardrobe director of Merv Griffin's show. Well, he's retired, and he's very normal indeed, and he's really honest and full of friendly advice, whether you ask for it or not.
You know, people in movies and television are looking for perfect. If I were you, I'd get rid of those warts on your face.
What warts? He points to my cheek. These are not warts, they're moles. Beauty marks, thank you very much.
They look like warts to me. They will only hold you back.
But Robert Redford's got these same 3 marks on his face.
Yes, but he's Robert Redford. And you're not.
And then I got a couple of groups that come in from further down the street. There's the crew that builds the sets for ABCs. A bunch of loud, brash guys giving jokes and laughter. And then there's these 3 cooks from the Hunan restaurant, and only one of them ever speaks. He always orders 3 coffees, 3 regular coffees, and for those that don't know, that's with cream and 2 sugars. And then they all 3 silently point to their choice of donut. And they always sit at the section nearest to the takeout. And they just sit there silently, sipping their coffees and eating, never saying a word. I mean, not a word, not to each other or to anyone else. And then whenever they finish, they take turns leaving a $1 tip for the 3 of them, and silently wave goodbye on their way out the door. They calm me down some days. Oh. Enter the shoe salesman from the Florsheim shoe shop on 72nd Street. Now this guy thinks we've got a whole lot in common, because his son, when his son was in basic training,
Married this little redneck Todd from Biloxi, Mississippi.
oh, he thinks he loves telling me how stupid rednecks are, based on his daughter-in-law. Of course, I always ignore his offensiveness, because what he doesn't seem to understand is that redneck is an attitude, not a class. I mean, in my view and experience, he's a lot more redneck than his daughter-in-law could ever be. Anyway, one day, Florsheim and one of his cohorts come in during the middle of a really busy breakfast rush. It's well after 10. And my cooks and the set crew are having their morning coffee place. The place is packed. Because, see, it's getting close to the 4th of July bicentennial celebration, and there's all kinds of tourists in town. And the grill area is obviously too hot, so they turn their attention to my section over by the takeout. Do y'all want something to go?
No, kid, listen. We want to sound, but there's no seats.
Oh, sure there are. There's 2 right here. And I point to a couple of seats next to one of the cooks.
Yeah, but Larry Curly and Moa sitting there.
I can't believe my ears. I mean, I thought I left comments like that back in the South. Anyway, I just ignore their his offensiveness and go over and top up one of my customers' coffees, and then he follows me.
Hey, kid, did you hear me?
Yes.
So?
So, like I said, there's 2 seats right there.
Yeah, but we don't want to sit next to the chinks. Just tell them to move on, will you?
There's this thing that comes up in me sometimes that I have absolutely no inclination to repress. I got it from my big mama. So I stand back, pot in hand, and I say, you know what? I don't see any chinks in here, except maybe for the ones in in your character. And just so we're clear, there's no stooges here either, except perhaps for you and your friend there.
Hey, you can't talk to me like that.
Actually, I can. You see that sign up there? And I point to the sign above the coffee maker next to the clock that states in big, bright, red capital letters, we refuse the rights to refuse, we have the right to refuse service to anybody. And then I say, I'm refusing to serve you, so you can take your racist name calling out of here and go get your coffee elsewhere. Well, he gets mad, turns all red, starts saying, I want to see the manager. You get me the manager right now, you little redneck bitch.
And that's when the crew guys get up.
Hey! Everybody just calm down. Stacy!
Stacy comes in, looks up calmly at the map. You have a complaint? Yeah, the waitress there was rude to me and my friend here and refused to serve us. Is that right, Pat?
I nod.
Well, I guess you better leave, because if Pat refused to serve you, there must be a good reason. She never refuses anyone. So go ahead, take a hike. But wait a second, I'm a customer here. Oh, no, not my customer, you're not. My customers don't call my other customers and my employees names. Now get out!
He is shocked, speechless that anyone would talk to him, a white guy, like this.
And then Stacy says, go on, beat it before I call the cops. As they storm out the door,
Everybody in the place erupts in applause for Stacy's chutzpah.
she just waves them off. Pat, get to work.
And just like my buddies at Ben's Deli like to say,
Everything gets back to kosher.
oh yeah, Ben and Saul are like a couple of Jewish dads to me. Ben is always joking and laughing. Saul's a grouch. But these guys introduced me to celery tonic and pastrami. And Saul's always insisting that Southerners misuse mayonnaise. But every time I pass by, Ben urges me inside.
You want a knish, some kugel, a bagel?
And I've tried everything they serve at their deli. Well, except for tongue.
There's no way I am ever eating that. Saul scowls. You don't know what you're missing. Tongue is the best part of the cow, so tender.
But I just cannot go there. And Ben howls with laughter over how much Saul can gross me out with that tongue business. My other buddy is Suhail Degali, who is from Beirut and works 18 hours a day with only one day off every 2 weeks at the local cigarette store / head shop, earning his college tuition for next year. Every day when I get off work, I get an egg salad sandwich to go, and I head over to the head shop and sit down and talk with Suhail while I eat it. He's always complaining that I eat lunch too late, but what he doesn't know is that, well, I've already had a lot of donuts during the day. I mean, they're there, I'm there, 2 + 2. But eventually, all the knishes, donuts, pastrami, and egg salad catch up with me, and my apron starts getting tight. Oh, I try to move the button over half an inch, and then again. But then finally, I just have to ask Stacy for a new apron.
Why, you tear it?
No, I outgrew it.
Outgrew it? What outgrew?
It won't fit anymore.
Oh, you're not fat? What, you eat the donuts?
Oh my God.
You are?
You're eating the donuts? And then she just does this head shaking thing like she's trying to get some I don't know, some balls out of there that are clattering around inside. How many donuts a day are you eating? I don't know, 3, maybe 5. 5? 5 donuts a day? Holy mother of God. Do you realize it takes 3 days to digest 1 cake donut and you eat 5? You're going to be digesting donuts when you're 50. And then she just does this blowing thing with her mouth like she's a human pressure cooker. This and stalks inside her office and slams the door. And finally, she comes back out and shoves another apron at me. Here, this is the biggest we got. You outgrow this when you go shopping. Got it? I nod. And meanwhile, no more donuts. And go on a diet. The story of my life. Eat fat, diet. Shh. Now, my roommate Gravy, well, she's a dancer, so she picks up the mid-morning to evening shifts at the Twin Donut. Gravy's back-throated Delta speech sounds like, I don't know, the bleating of a sheep in distress. Scrambled with bacon, rye toast, no butter. Eggs over easy, hung fries, no toast. One day, as I'm navigating my irregulars, Gravy starts bleating my name repeatedly. Patty! Patty! Patty Tears! What? Gravy? Can't she see how busy I am? Sherlock and Watson have been all over me since he walked in the door. Patty, Shirley's here. Huh. Sure enough, Shirley is here. She's wearing a white shorts and tunic outfit, covered in oversized red polka dots. And on her head, she's sporting a white plastic planter's pot with an attached saucer, like a hat, to which she has adorned with several very large, bright red stick-on bows. And in addition to the outfit, every inch of her legs, her arms, her hair, her face is spray painted red. Wow, Shirley, whoa. What's the occasion? You're all dressed up today. You going to a party? No. I was just feeling down is all. My heart was exploding inside me, and it made me sad like. So I just figured I ought to cheer myself up a little bit, you know. So I put on my reds. Well, red is a gay color, a happy light. So I just put on my reds to feel better is all. Oh. Well, you look really happy, really festive. Do you feel better? No, but my spirits are higher. Can I have a donut now? Gravy shoves me aside. Of course you can, Shirley. And would you like a strawberry donut to match your outfit? No. I'll just have that cruller right there if you don't mind. And then when she tries to pay, Gravy refuses her. No, Shirley. This is on us today, and we sure hope you feel better soon. As she leaves, I ask her, hey, where'd you get the paint? Oh, I got it next door, and Johnny painted me. I think he did a real good job. Yeah, he sure did. And then I go find him. He's hungover. What were you thinking? You could have blinded her. I told her to keep her eyes shut while I sprayed. Now let me alone and go get me some coffee. My head hurts. I notice he's got some red paint on his face, and I wonder if he remembered to close his own damn eyes. Shh. By mid-July, I have become a very trusted employee of the Twin Donut. So trusted, in fact, that Stacy sends me to make her bank deposits. Now, whenever I do it, I put the money in the deposit inside the zippered banker's bag and hide it behind the bib of my apron and practically run all the way to the bank, praying silently to get the walk sign at the corner. And whenever I do, I thank my mother's God for small favors, and I race across the street through the revolving door, which spits me out inside the bank. My pounding heart slows, and I join the long line of New Yorkers awaiting my turn for a teller. we all stand silently while we wait. Of course, there's always some whiner online complaining, why are they always so slow? And then somebody else further down the line mutters, I didn't come into the bank to hear a bunch of grousing, so please to shut it. And then for the next 20 minutes, the whiner and the mutter get into a tit-for-tat. Except sometimes they do unite. Like when an elderly person tries to break line. Hey, get back! No breaking! The gray hair looks confused, asked innocently, are you talking to me? Yeah, back of the line, gray hair. No breaking! Some gray hairs concede, others take a stand. I fought in the war for you. My back is bad. Or that silent, get out of here. One morning, I'm online, Stacy's deposit beneath my bib, and right after I put out a cigarette in a nearby ash can, this little old lady, just about my mama's age, appears and smiles up at me sweetly. Do you mind if I use this to sit? I mean, who sits on an ashtray? But hey, I'm online almost to the teller, so I say, sure, go ahead. She sits down, the line erupts. Ha! Here we go again. What did I tell you? Some guy with fire in his eyes storms. She does this all the time. Where's security? No breaking. I look back down at her. She smiles up at me benignly, so I give her the benefit of the doubt. She's just sitting while she waits. The stormer gets in my face now, so let us sit and wait at the back of the line. Yeah, back of the line, no breaking. I decide to mind my own business. The line moves up, and the little old lady moves up, scooting on her can. Now she's right beside me. See, she's doing it again. Where's the manager? No breaking. Gosh, the hysteria is mounting. I just keep my hands glued to the apron bib and the deposit. Anything could happen in this climate. The line moves, I move, and the little old lady moves, scooting her can right in front of me. I've been had. Excuse me, ma'am, I think you were behind me. Nothing, nada. Now she's deaf, old deaf and scooting. See what you did? You let her break. No, I didn't. Don't let her in. Get in front of her. No breaking. Shove in front of her. But I just can't do it. I have been raised to respect my elders, and I cannot for the life of me shove a little old lady lest she fall and break a hip. When next is called, all kinds of finger pointing and raging protests ensue. No breaking! When she gets to the teller, she turns and sneers, fuck off! In the half-beat of stunned silence, I somehow make it to a teller to make my deposit so I can get the hell out of there. My friend Richard tells me about this audition at the Equity Alliance Theater. So I look it up in the trade paper backstage. It's right up my alley. The play takes place in the South, and there's a mother role that fits my description to a T. Now, I'm not union, so I'll have to wait for the union actors to get auditioned first, but it'll be a great first audition for me, even if I don't get cast. Oh, wow. There's quite a few people here. Several men and a lot of women. Nobody really my age, though. Oh. One of the actors strikes up a conversation with me. Now, he's been doing this a really long time, and he says that this is how most union auditions are conducted, that it's a hurry up and wait kind of thing. And then this actress joins our conversation, and she's really nice. And she asks what part I'm auditioning for, and when I tell her the mother, she says, no kidding, me too. And I just smile, even though I'm thinking that she doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell of booking the role of a Southern mother. Not with her strong New York accent. But they're both really nice, and so we continue to chat. And then eventually they're both sane and wish me luck and to break a leg on their way out. Well, by 5 o'clock, there's only two of us left. Me and a plump matron with gray curly hair. The union monitor comes out. You're both signed in, right? The other lady says, I am, but I don't think this young woman is. The monitor looks at me. You're not signed in? No, my friend told me I have to wait since I'm not union. Oh, okay. All right, so she glances at the other lady and then back at me. What part are you auditioning for? She looks confused, so I try to help her out. The mother. See, I'm a character actress. I play all the mother, Mrs. Malaprop, Yenta roles, which, by the way, were some of my most noted roles in college. Okay, all right. So I'm going to take you in now. And then I will come back out and let you know if the producers are willing to see you. Okay. I tell the lady to break a leg. And then I sit back, trying to squelch my now very real nervousness. Whew, my first audition's about to happen. Can you imagine how shocked my mother's going to be when she finds out that I booked my first New York job because I had the only authentic Southern accent at the audition? The other lady comes out smiling and waves goodbye on her way out, and I stand up all ready to be taken in. And then the monitor comes out. She says, could you give me just a couple of seconds? I need to speak to the production team. Oh, sure. Go ahead. And then, when she comes out again, she says, you know what? The casting directors feel like they've already seen enough people today to know who else they want to see again for the part. So they're not going to be seeing you today. Better luck next time. Oh. And then she just disappears behind the door again. It's only then, see, that I realize that there are plenty of middle-aged actresses to play middle-aged Southern mothers, whether they have a Southern accent or not, right? I mean, it's New York City. I mean, who's going to know? Well, except for me and any other Southerner who saw the play, obviously. As I gather my things to leave, it occurs to me how completely delusional I must have seemed to all those people I met today. Some first audition. Working the counter at the Twin Donut during the dog days of August is the absolute worst. It's so freaking hot. Even Patty swears that if the grill breaks, he could fry eggs out on the sidewalk. Our local beat cop, Officer Callahan, always comes in for his breakfast special and coffee before beginning his 7 a.m. shift. And Patty's always got it ready and waiting when he walks in the door. He's a big guy, clearly over 6 feet, and his knees kiss the bottom of the counter as he perches not comfortably on that small stool. He's not a talkative guy, but he's also not unfriendly. He's just there for the purpose of eating, and that's what he does. One morning, I'm busy as a bee. Oh, sorry. Molly's not on shift yet, and it is all I can do to keep up with the rush. Some guy with dirty clothes and long hair comes in and calls out his order for a light and sweet to me from halfway down the grill like I'm a bartender or something. Have a seat, I'll be right with you.
I'm not sitting, just give it to me here.
Nasty attitude. But I hand off the takeouts to my customer, and then I say, takeout's over here. And then he says, I'm not walking over there, just give it to me here. And then I say, you sit down there or you get takeout here. Either way, you wait your turn. And then he gets pissed off and starts mouthing off. And then I say, hey, sit down, get online, or get out. And can you please move aside so that other people can sit if they'd like to? Thank you. He pulls a clenched fist out of his jacket pocket, starts waving it at me. Hey, I got acid here and I'll throw it in your face, you stupid bitch. Oh, you know what? I've had it with this guy. Okay, let's see what you got there. Come on, let's see it. Show it to me then. And that's when Officer Callahan gets up. Just up and up and up, and without a word, he hauls the hippie up by the scruff of his dirty tweed jacket and practically tosses him out the door. My eyes are as round as my open mouth. And then before he sits back down, he leans over the counter and says to me, and you, don't you ever let me see you get into it with some lowlife threatening to throw acid in your face because he might just actually do it. And then you're blind and scarred for life. You got it? Huh? You got it? I got it. I am shaken to my core as I get back to work. Shirley's over at the takeout getting her morning coffee. She yells over to me, they got wigs just like your hair next door in all different colors. I think the powder pink and the lemon meringue look really good on you. Thanks. I'll keep those in mind when I get off work. A trio of elderly women are seated at her left. One of them noises her disgust. And Shirley notices, but unaware of the old lady's intent, she says to the woman, oh, and you know what? They got a powdered blue that would look real pretty with your complexion. I watch as the old lady turns purple with rage. Why do you let people like that in here? Well, because she plays with the same money you do. See? Got something in common. I have nothing in common with that. She reeks of disease. She's probably contagious. And that's when I pick up on the sweet, sickening odor. Rotting flesh. It's unmistakable, even if you've never experienced it before. And as Shirley walks away, I notice that one of her legs has a gaping wound, draining pus. Shirley, what happened to your leg? It's just lame as all. And she continues outside. I run in the back and get Stacy, who goes outside to speak to her. And Shirley nods, and then Stacy kneels down to get a closer look. And Shirley bends over too to get a better view, more out of curiosity than any concern. And then Stacy stands back up and says something else to Shirley, who nods. And then Stacy comes back inside. Her lips a thin line of tension. What is it? I'm not sure. It could be gangrene. She disappears into her office. And not 10 minutes later, a squad car pulls up in front. Officer Callahan motions to the two officers inside the car, and they get out and make a decent sized boundary on either side of Shirley. She says senses she's trapped and that she drops her copy on the street. And then and she needs a way out, but there isn't one. See, she's been standing propped up against the building, so there's nowhere to go. And then she begins to moan. The sound like the low mooing of cows back home. Officer Callahan extends his hand to her like an offer, and then I hear Shirley say, I ain't done nothing. I paid you. You can ask the lady inside. She'll tell you. I paid. And then in her eyes just shift from one man to the next, on alert as to any, I don't know, movement or shot. And then she's backed up all the way to the window now, practically hugging it. And suddenly she makes a break for it, and they close in, and she begins to keen and lash out with flailing fists, and Officer Callahan puts up both his hands in a display of surrender. He mutters something to the other two cops who back up, and then I hear him say, "We're not going to hurt you. We just want to check your leg." And Shirley stops flailing, although she's clearly still terrified. Your friend there called us to help you. And he nods over at Stacy, who's huddled in the door. "That's why we're here. You did nothing wrong. We know that." And Shirley turns her terrified eyes to Stacy, who says, "Shirley, they just want to get you to a doctor to heal your leg. They mean you no harm." And then Callahan says, "Hey, you know me, right? Huh? You see me around? Have I ever hurt you?" And Shirley turns from Stacy to look back at the cop, and she stares at him hard, like she's memorizing it. And then he says, "You know me?" "Yeah. Yes, I do. I do know you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You okay to me?" "Yeah. You get in the car with me?" She's weighing her options. "Your leg is in bad shape. You don't want to lose it." And then she bends over to look back at her oozing wound, and Callahan says, "Shirley? Shirley!" And she looks back at him, and that's when I noticed one of the cops has opened the back seat of the squad car, and then Callahan motions to the other cop to back up and give them more room. And Callahan sits down in the back seat of the car, his hand still extended to Shirley. "Come on, Shirley. Get in the car with me, huh? Let us help you. Sure." Sobbing, she grabs his hand like a life preserver to join him inside the car, and the one cop quietly shuts the door while the other one fires up the engine, and they fly away. Siren silent, so as not to frighten her any further. It's all just in a day's job for these guys, to save a citizen's leg, if not her very life. Stacy comes back inside. She's crying. She wipes her face on her apron and says, "Pat, get to work." late summer has given way to early autumn, and school started. Stacy let me change shifts with Gravy so I can attend acting classes in the village. The first time I go down there on the subway by myself, I cry the whole way. I don't tell anybody about it because I don't want anyone to know what a baby I am about it. But to tell the truth, the subway scares the crap out of me. Well, it's so loud, and it's too much like a roller coaster, which I hate. Besides, what if I get off at the wrong stop and end up in Brooklyn or somewhere? So I just try not to think about it. Ooh. The weather gets kind of nippy this morning, so I'm going to way to work now. I just bang on the door for George to let me in, and then I start getting ready for the breakfast rush while he starts firing up the grill. I'm just about to put cold milk and cream into the stainless decanters on the back counter when I hear this tapping noise. See, the Ulsters rise with the freaking birds. I mean, they see a light, they flock to it like a moth to a flame, no matter that we're not open yet. Sometimes we have to have a standoff. They'll point to their watch, and I point up at our clock. No, it is not time, and I've got the key. It's annoying, just like today. Well, at least I'm annoyed. Well, I didn't sleep well again. Stacy says it's because of the change in seasons, but that doesn't make any sense to me. It's cooler. I should be sleeping better, is my way of thinking. But I'm not. I'm just restless all night long, and I don't know why. Except that I do know. See, I'm afraid to sleep because I think my dream is slipping away. I mean, I so love and feel a part in New York City, but I don't feel like a New York City actor. I mean, at least not in my acting class. I get dismissive smirks and looks from my other students. You know. And one girl even rolled her eyes at me. Oh, is it my voice? My weight? My accent? My brown frowsy hair that never moves? I mean, there's so much about me that is unacceptable. I mean, it's not, the first time I felt, outside the circle. And certainly not the first time I felt ostracized by people who are supposed to get me, even love me. But, still disappointing. Besides, what if I really don't belong here? And just like the fear of getting off at the wrong subway stop, I try not to think about it. So I start getting the coffee ready, and then that tapping sound becomes insistent, followed by a soft pounding, and then some other muffled noise, and I look back up at the clock, and damn it, it's not even 5:45, so I turn over to give whoever it is help, but it's bright inside where I am and still dark outside, and I can't see, so I just march right over to the door and say, hey, cut it out, we don't open for another 15 minutes. And it's Johnny on the other side of the door, and he is covered in blood. George! I press a cold, wet dish towel on the deep cut in his head, but he's not just bleeding. One of his eyes is practically hanging out of its socket. I've never seen anything like this before in my life, except maybe in some kind of horror movie. And then I go and I call for the police and an ambulance, and then on my way back to help George with Johnny, I hear Johnny crying that they took her, and I know that he means his accordion, but all I can do is yell at him. Just hush, Johnny, just hush. Now calm down. Just hush. Calm down now. And I know I wouldn't be calm if I was in his situation, but I honestly don't know what else to do. That's the way we comfort my family. And then finally, the police and the ambulance arrive. And it's also surreal. It's 10 after 6. Johnny's been taken to Bellevue by ambulance. And George and I just stand there stock still, looking at each other in shocked silence. What in the world is going on here? Who knocked somebody's eye out for an accordion? Or for any reason for that matter? George pats me on the shoulder as he leaves and gives me a little smile. That's Greek for "Don't worry, Kukla, it will be okay." And the rest of the day is just business as usual. Coffee's poured and drunk, breakfast eaten, donuts dunked. Of course, all I can hear is Johnny's tapping on that glass door, his frantic scratching and his cries for help, which I ignored. I'm so ashamed of myself. I've been raised better. Later in the afternoon, the cops do come back around and let us know that Johnny did, in fact, lose his eye. And you know what? I don't think he cares about his eye. I mean, that accordion, I mean, that's what he's concerned about. That shiny little red accordion is his entire enterprise. Not to mention his best friend. He's shared more with her than he's ever shared with a living soul. Johnny's in the hospital for over a week. And meanwhile, the weather turns nippy. And I am not prepared for the chill. Every time somebody opens that door by the takeout, a rush of cold air sweeps in, and whew, gone. It's that goody two-shoes that'll get you girl I used to be. I complain a lot. Stacy asks if I'm getting sick, and I just say, no, I'm just cold. Because I cannot articulate that I am angry and sad and confused. For fear that doing so will be my own upending. One morning, a black car pulls up front and deposits Johnny outside. His gait's unsteady. His jacket's still filled with dry blood. He wears a big black patch over his right eye. His former bravado and confidence are gone, replaced by the vulnerability of a very fragile, very old man. Much older than the 57 he was a few weeks ago. Stacy urges him inside, but he acts uncomfortable. Like he doesn't know how to be around us. I put a cup of coffee down in front of him. You want a donut? He shakes his head no. And then Stacy offers, how about breakfast? You hungry? No, thank you. No.
Patty, have an eggs over easy. I can't pay. They took it all. I got no money. Don't worry about it. And before she could say, Pat, I get to work. Stacy sits down beside Johnny as he cries over the loss of his accordion. I don't know how it happened. I guess they must have jumped me when I was on the street asleep. See, I wasn't even drunk. I was just asleep on the street, and then I fought as hard as I could, but it was all for naught. Johnny talks like my big mama and my mama. All for naught is something one of them might say. I don't know what I'm going to do without her. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Oh, it is so awful to watch him sob like this with only one eye. He can't even get the benefit of a good cry. And then Stacy just gets up and she says, "Stay here. Don't leave." And then she just walks into the back. And when she comes out, she's lugging this big, beautiful blue accordion, much larger than Johnny's old one. And we all just stand staring at her in shock, and she walks right up to him and says, "Here, take it. It's for you." And when he doesn't move fast enough, she says, "Johnny, hurry, it's heavy, I might drop it." And he grabs the accordion immediately, holding it securely. I can tell he's already got a feel for it. Maybe Old Blue will become its name. But that's none of my beeswax. And his face is still in shock, and he says, Can I try it out?" "Of course." And then he plays the scale, and it is so loud, it's like a poker come to life. And Stacy says, hold it, it's too loud in here. You got to take it outside to play. Go on, take it outside. And I could tell he's eager to get it to the street. And then, but, her tone changes. "You can play it outside here all day long. You're good for business. You're part of us. But every day at dusk, and I don't care what time, when it starts getting dark, you bring it inside, and I lock it up. Got it?" "Yes, ma'am." "And you get drunk, I take it away from you until you sober up. You cannot protect yourself or this accordion if you are drunk. Got it?" He nods. "Okay, get out of here." Johnny slips the accordion over his shoulder, and then he grabs Stacy's hand in both of his. Yes. "Thank you, ma'am. Thank you." A man with absolutely no means whatsoever has just been gifted an expensive musical instrument just so he can play outside the door of a local diner. I have never heard of anything so crazy in my life. But if the Twin Donuts taught me anything, it's that crazy is relative. And Johnny starts to play. A crowd gathers. And then, as though the sound of his accordion summoned her, Shirley appears. And she drops the bill in his cap and stands over with the others to listen. And he says something to her. And she moves in beside him, and he starts playing the intro to a hymn.
Oh, you guys, she's going to sing with him. Shirley is going to sing with Johnny. And then all of us, Patty and Molly and Stacy and Grady and me and all the customers gather around the two doors in the window to watch one of the greatest live performances I've ever seen in New York City. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that swore that in love like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. 'Twas blind, but now I see.
Yeah, I think at the end, I love the curtain call actually. I would say just you go blackout
Yeah, I agree.
to get